This was never a loud announcement, not a press release, not a police speech. It was the kind of quiet talk that moves through private rooms, fancy dinners, and late-night phone calls. The kind of talk that starts as a rumor and slowly turns into a story everyone thinks is true. And in this story, one name keeps coming up: Shante. Some people say Snoop Dogg wasn't just upset with Sean "Diddy" Combs. They say it was deeper than that. They say it was personal. Not about money, not about business, not about fame. They say it was about betrayal. The rumor online says Shante's name somehow got connected to Diddy's private world in a way that Snoop couldn't ignore. No proof, no recordings, no public confession, just whispers. But sometimes whispers are powerful. Once people believed that Snoop's marriage might be involved, the story grew fast. Because when you threaten someone's family, that feels different. Then real events happened. In March 2024, federal agents raided homes connected to Diddy in Los Angeles and Miami. Suddenly, this didn't feel like internet gossip anymore. Then, on September 16, 2024, Diddy was arrested. Those dates became important. People started building theories around them. By the time Diddy was arrested, some online claimed that Snoop and Diddy had already stopped talking, that something had broken months before anyone noticed. And again, the story circled back to Shante. To understand why her name matters so much, you have to understand who she is. Shante Broadus grew up in Long Beach. She met Calvin Broadus, the man who would become Snoop Dogg, when they were teenagers in high school. They went to prom together. They built a life before the fame ever came. They married in 1997. She stood by him during the Death Row Records era, during lawsuits, during controversies, during fame and reinvention. In 2021, she became his manager. She helps run his business empire now. Snoop has said many times that she is his best friend, the person who tells him the truth, the one voice he listens to when everyone else says yes. So when the internet started saying her name was dragged into Diddy's world, people didn't treat it like normal gossip. They treated it like crossing a line. Around the same time, Suge Knight, speaking from prison, began making comments, little jabs, hints. He mentioned Shante in ways that felt meant to get attention. Some people ignored him. Others thought he knew exactly what buttons to push. But Snoop didn't respond loudly. He stayed quiet, focused, calm on the outside. Then the raids happened. Then the arrest happened. And the internet created a storyline that felt almost too neat. Quiet tension, then public collapse. People began asking, how did investigators get so many details? How did they know locations, timing, logistics? That's when the theory grew bigger. Some online claimed that someone on the inside must have helped, and because Snoop and Diddy had overlapping circles for years, some people pointed at Snoop, not as the headline, but as the guide. Again, no proof, just theory. By late 2023 and early 2024, Shante was deeply involved in managing Snoop's brand, business deals, partnerships, long-term planning. Some insiders claimed she encouraged distance from anything risky. And when Diddy's legal troubles exploded, people started connecting dots. Was it revenge? Was it survival? Because in big investigations, sometimes protecting your family and protecting your business look very similar. In July 2025, Diddy's verdict came. He was found not guilty on the most extreme charges many expected, but he was found guilty on 2 transportation-related charges. In October 2025, he was sentenced to 50 months in prison and a major financial penalty. At first, he was held in the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. After sentencing, he was transferred to Federal Correctional Institute Fort Dix in New Jersey. That detail matters because it keeps the story current. As of early 2026, his appeal is still ongoing. People repeat a projected release date, May 8, 2028, though that could change. Meanwhile, Snoop continues running his businesses, television deals, music, investments, Death Row Records, which he acquired in what many called a full-circle moment. But Suge Knight has publicly questioned that deal, claiming it wasn't handled fairly. Most people see that as bitterness, but in hip-hop, accusations never fully disappear, and that's why the whispers continue. Some people believe Snoop simply protected his family and brand. Others believe there's more going on behind the scenes. Some even suggest Shante wasn't just being protected, but may have helped guide smart business decisions to keep their names safe while storms hit others. Again, these are claims, not proven facts, but in the court of public opinion, repetition can make a theory feel real. Meanwhile, Diddy's world changed dramatically. Once one of the most powerful names in entertainment, now he faces prison time and legal battles. And the contrast is striking. One empire looks steady, the other collapsed publicly. That's why the questions won't go away. Did Snoop distance himself at the right time? Was it strategy? Was it protection? Was it coincidence? If more information comes out, could this story change again? In entertainment, power doesn't disappear, it shifts. Right now, Snoop and Shante stand as symbols of longevity and loyalty. But in an industry where secrets eventually surface, nothing feels completely finished. So the real question is this: when the next headline drops, will Snoop still be seen as the smart survivor, or will the story take another turn? Because in this world, loyalty is valuable, and stories are never really over, only paused. This story didn't start with flashing cameras. It didn't begin with handcuffs. It didn't even begin in a courtroom. It started in whispers. The kind of whispers that move quietly through private rooms, luxury dinners, and late-night phone calls. The kind that never show up on official statements, but somehow travel faster than headlines. At first, they sound like gossip, then they start sounding like patterns, and eventually they begin to feel like truth. One name keeps pulling this entire storm back to the same place: Shante. Not Diddy, not Snoop, Shante. Because the internet didn't frame this as just another celebrity feud. It framed it as betrayal, and betrayal is louder than business, louder than money, louder than fame. When federal agents raided properties connected to Sean Diddy Combs in March 2024, it felt like a turning point. This wasn't rumor anymore. This was real. Homes in Los Angeles, homes in Miami, investigators moving with purpose. Suddenly, the music industry wasn't whispering, it was watching. Then came September 16, 2024, arrest. Those two dates became anchors: March, September, before and after. And somewhere in the space between those moments, the internet built a theory that refuses to disappear. The theory says the public collapse wasn't sudden. It says something cracked long before the headlines. It says that behind the scenes, communication between Snoop Dogg and Diddy Combs had already gone quiet. That distance had formed, that something deeply personal had shifted. And at the center of that shift, Shante Broadus, Snoop's wife, his high school sweetheart, his manager, his anchor. To understand why her name matters so much, you have to understand who she is. Shante Broadus grew up in Long Beach. She met Calvin Broadus, the man who would become Snoop Dogg, when they were teenagers in high school. They went to prom together. They built a life before the fame ever came. They married in 1997. She stood by him during the Death Row Records era, during lawsuits, during controversies, during fame and reinvention. In 2021, she became his manager. She helps run his business empire now.
Snoop has said many times that she is his best friend, the person who tells him the truth, the one voice he listens to when everyone else says yes. So when the internet started saying her name was dragged into Diddy's world, people didn't treat it like normal gossip. They treated it like crossing a line. Around the same time, Suge Knight, speaking from prison, began making comments, little jabs, hints. He mentioned Shante in ways that felt meant to get attention. Some people ignored him. Others thought he knew exactly what buttons to push. But Snoop didn't respond loudly. He stayed quiet, focused, calm on the outside. Then the raids happened. Then the arrest happened. And the internet created a storyline that felt almost too neat. Quiet tension, then public collapse. People began asking,
because when two powerful figures from the same era end up on completely different paths, people look for reasons. They look for hidden moves. They look for strategy behind silence. And silence is powerful. Snoop didn't shout. He didn't defend loudly. He didn't attack publicly. He stayed calm. And in a world where everyone rushes to speak, sometimes the quietest person in the room looks the most in control. But here's the deeper layer. Whether the internet theories are true or not, they reveal something important about this moment in hip-hop history. The old rules don't apply anymore. Privacy isn't guaranteed, loyalty is complicated, and reputation is no longer permanent. We're watching a generation that once ruled through mystery now face an era of exposure, and exposure changes everything. So the real question isn't just about Snoop, it isn't just about Diddy, it's about what happens next. If more information surfaces during appeals, if new names are mentioned, if old alliances are questioned, will the narrative shift again? Because in entertainment, especially at the highest levels, stories rarely end cleanly. They pause, they evolve, they wait for the next document, the next interview, the next unexpected reveal. Right now, one empire appears steady, one is fighting through the system, but power is never still. It moves, and the public plays a role in how it moves. The way people talk, the way people speculate, the way people amplify certain ideas over others. In today's world, perception shapes reality almost as much as facts do. That's why your voice matters. Do you believe this was pure coincidence, two different outcomes shaped by separate choices? Or do you believe there was strategy involved, smart distancing, calculated silence, protective moves made long before the public caught on? Was this revenge? Was it survival? Was it simply timing? Or is the biggest truth something much simpler, that success in the long run belongs to those who adapt faster than the storm? Because whether you see Snoop as a master strategist, a loyal husband protecting his family, or simply a veteran who stayed out of trouble at the right moment, the conversation itself shows how much the culture has changed. The days of untouchable legends may be over. Now, everyone is one headline away from scrutiny. And that's why this story feels bigger than two names. It feels like a turning point. So here's what I want to know from you. If the next wave of information drops tomorrow, who do you think it helps and who does it hurt? Do you think this chapter is truly closing, or are we just between acts? And if silence really is power, who is holding the most of it right now? Drop your thoughts, share your perspective, because in a story like this, the audience isn't just watching. You're part of how the narrative grows. And one thing is certain. This storm may have slowed, but it hasn't disappeared. Stay watching, because in this game, loyalty is currency, timing is everything, and the next move could change the entire board.